Welcome to Interviewing the Legends with Ray Shasho.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. A three-time Grammy nominee with multiple Blues Foundation awards, Eric Bibb is known and revered globally for having carved his own musical destiny with honesty and power. Eric's father, the late Leon Bibb, was an activist, actor, and folk singer who marched at Selma with Dr. Martin Luther King. Eric's youth was spent immersed in the Greenwich Village folk scene with people as Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, Pete Seeger, who were visitors to his home. He was deeply influenced by Odetta, Richie, Taj Mahal, and he has synthesized all of that into his very own style. Eric Bibb is one of the world's most prolific blues troubadours with an illustrious career spanning 5 decades and over 40 albums. Bibb has received 3 Grammy nominations, multiple Blues Foundation Artist of the Year, and Album of the Year awards, and countless more accolades along the way. As Eric reflects on his musical journey, gratitude pervades. Evolution is evident in his voice and guitar playing, with his words providing grounding in truth and fostering a vision of unity amid a world filled with divisive rhetoric. Eric Bibb is more than a blues troubadour. He is a storyteller and philosopher. His legacy is not just in the notes he plays on or the stages he graces, but in the questions he poses and the hope he instills. And boy, do we need that. His latest release is Eric Bibb, live at the Scala Theater in Stockholm. The album will be officially released on April 5th, but is currently available for pre-order. Please welcome 3-time Grammy nominee, blues troubadour, guitarist, songwriter, Eric Bibb, to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, Eric.
Hello, Ray. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. We have something kind of in common. Mr. Dick Gregory.
Oh.
Did you know Dick?
You know, my dad was a good friend of Dick Gregory, and I knew I ran into him when I was younger.
Right.
You know, my dad was on a circuit of clubs that often featured folk acts as well as a comedian.
Right.
And my dad and Dick became friends on that circuit, yeah.
Mr. Gregory was a client of mine for several years.
Wow.
I had a store in D.C. The National Press Building was right on top of mine, and I think he lived in D.C. And he would visit me often to buy electronics, especially little micro tape recorders. He always bought the best.
Wow.
And he was such a nice guy, really cool guy.
Well, he was really a man of like a Zen brainwave kind of thing going on. He evolved into somebody who was so grounded and so certain in his convictions. It was a beautiful thing to see.
Boy, those hunger strikes he did. I don't know how he did them.
You know, this man was consumed by spirit. He was really a leader. He was a pathfinder. An amazing guy who started out as a hugely overweight comedian, you know, who became this advocate of nutrition, and wow, what a journey, and peace. I mean, what a mission.
He was a Renaissance man. I mean, the things that he's done in his life, you know, were truly amazing. Yep. But he was a great guy, very nice man. And I just wanted to throw that out there.
It's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Very nice.
On the new album, who plays harmonica? Is that you?
No.
That's some great harmonica playing on this album.
That is the player. Listen, man. That is the player. His name is Gregor Anderson.
Okay.
Knockout Greg, he's known as in blues circles over here. He's played on the scene here for years, and he's a consummate harp player and a wonderful singer who really has absorbed the wonderful language of the blues, and he can really do it, as you can hear.
Yeah, he really stands out.
Yeah, he does. He does. Greg is wonderful. There are so many musicians who play the blues with a lot of heart and soul out here. There's Greg's mentor. He's passed away. His name was Sven Zetterberger. Amazing musician, also a guitarist, but a harp player as well, singer extraordinaire. So it's funny how the blues gets handed like a torch to certain people, and the creator has a master plan. You'd be surprised at the choices that get tapped. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You ready for my review of the album?
I'd love to hear.
Eric Bibb is a national treasure. His latest release, live at the Scala Theater of Stockholm, is the most exceptionally engineered live album I've heard in decades. And I really mean that, man. The sound is so clear.
Yeah. We could go on about that. We should talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I said, I genuinely felt as though I was sitting front row center. Bibb's performance was inspiring, enriching, and gratifying. Eric Bibb is a legend in his own time. 5 stars. Great album. I really enjoy that.
Oh man, you really lift my spirits. We know it's a really wonderful album because we put in the work and we know all that went into it and how it came out. Still, the result amazes us. I got to tell you, in every way, man. We're kind of like a little bit in shock. Whoa, was that it? Glenn, my producer, who has mixed it as well, has done just a yeoman's job in bringing out all of the beautiful detail and making you, as you say, feel as if you're present. For me, it's a milestone work. I'll just say that. I like all that I do. And with time, I appreciate more what I've been putting into this stuff with Glenn. But this record, because it's live, Ray, it's like, okay, really, real deal? Is this it? Yeah, this is it, man. This is what it sounds like. It's like, yeah.
This one deserves the Grammy, okay?
Tell me about it. Tell me.
I guess 4 times the charm.
Yeah, and well, the funny thing is, it's really 2 times so far in my own name.
Okay.
The first Grammy nomination was together with Linda Tillery and the Cultural Heritage Choir in Taj Mahal. We did a children's record. So in my own name, I've been nominated twice. So
third time's the charm then. Yeah. Well, if I can vote in any way, I will.
Yeah, well, thank you. Those things I realize they have their importance. We don't live for these awards. We don't make music because of them. But still, they are an indication of how you're landing in your own community of musicians, amongst others. And it's interesting feedback, so I enjoyed going to LA.
Yeah. I love pure music. I love the roots. I love folk and blues, and you got folk and blues together, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's all the same to me, Blues is folk and folk is blues,
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And then there's gospel. It's just mixed in there somehow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's all part of an amazing I call it a language, between the spoken and the sung African American, roots tradition, man. It's like gold that's enough for the universe, and everybody's absorbed it. And this just tells me how colossal a blessing this particular music is to not only the people who created it, but to everybody who's come in contact with it. It's like a bomb, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I give the Brits a lot of credit for progressive rock because they took it and evolved with it. And I give them credit for bringing the blues back too. The early Savoy Brown and John Mayall and all that. But
absolutely, the Yardbirds, all those folks.
Yeah, but the African Americans invented rock music.
Hey, let's get very real. So,
that's right.
And all you have to do is have your ears open and have access to one of these wonderful platforms that have everything now. You don't have to
search. It goes way back, man.
Man, you can hear everything. You can
Yeah.
hear everything that was recorded. And it's an amazing blessing to have it still because it would have disappeared. People don't sing that way anymore, man.
No, they don't.
You know,
Which is a shame, isn't
mhm,
it?
yeah. Things move on, but at least we have that beautiful record, and we can see where people take it because there's beautiful things to come,
Yep.
you know. But at the core of this music is something so incredibly powerful, as you
Hmm.
know. You know, your radio show pays homage to it all the time. But
Yes.
it's the mother lode, man. It's the stuff that has fed all popular music.
Right.
Let's just get real, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it went for Little Richard, there would be no
Yeah,
Beatles.
yeah, yeah.
I to me, I thought Little
Or
Richard was the
Dylan
biggest.
probably, and
Yeah.
Dylan too, because you know that guy he hit everybody so hard.
Hmm.
Little Richard, you know, was like all those, you know, that line, Fats Domino,
Yep.
Professor Longhair,
Hmm.
uh, you know, it's an amazing tradition
It is.
with so
Um,
many details, you know.
I,
So go on with your questions because we could get
that's
sidetracked.
okay.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had Maria Muldaur on the show several times, and you did an
Oh,
album
great.
with
Yeah,
Maria.
yeah.
Maria actually turned me on to Memphis Mini.
Oh,
That's another one from the past that gets ignored, and she
oh
was
man.
incredible.
Absolutely, absolutely. Her story is incredible. Her music is even more incredible. Um, I was listening to her the other day and thinking about her because I ran into a young new picker who will talk about. She's from Ireland, man.
Hmm.
She was playing some Memphis Mini and singing it, but
Wow.
playing it. And she's like 17 years old, little girl from a county in Ireland. It's like
Isn't that
whoa,
cool?
yeah,
That is so cool.
yeah,
You
it
know,
is. But Maria, I was just listening to that version of ours of "Don't Ever
uh-huh.
Let Nobody Drag Your Spirit Down." I was also listening to her singing a song I wrote called "Bessie's Advice." Man, she is blowing.
Yeah.
That woman can do it. You know,
Hmm.
Maria is just somebody who really, again, somebody who just put in the time and figured it out and got to it in her own marrow. In her own voice because she did all of the investigating she needed to do. And man, she sounds so good.
She does.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I I told her, I said I had such a crush on you, Maria. And she says,
yeah.
"Well, where are all the guys now?" Because everybody
No,
did
man,
have a crush
she
on
had
her.
them line them up. She
Oh
had them
yeah.
line them up, man. I remember
Man,
back in the day, in the Question days, man. Everybody was zooming on Maria Muldaur, man. Yeah,
all those tight little hip hugger jeans she wore,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
No, no, she had it all. She had it all,
Oh
and
yeah,
still does.
definitely.
Still does. I was so happy to hear that song. I haven't heard it in a long time. That
Hmm.
recording, the one we did with her and Rory, and I'd love to meet those sisters again.
Yeah,
Mm.
awesome. You got a lot of connections. I mean, there's so much you can do, you know,
Yeah,
collaborations.
the list is really on and on and on and on.
Right.
I haven't run out of pet projects or bucket lists. No.
Yeah. You know, one guy that's been around forever that deserves, I mean, he deserves some kind of movie or something is Taj Mahal.
Of
Oh my
course.
God. He's been around since, wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. The mid '60s.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Taj is. You could write several books about Taj.
Hmm.
Um, I'm happy to have known him through the years more and more. Uh, we have more contact these days than we've ever had in one way or another. And
Hmm.
he's like a big brother. He's always been. I ran into Taj's music in 1968 or
Hmm.
69, and it's been an obsession since then. You know,
Wow.
that's it.
You look great, by the way,
Oh, thank you.
for being
I,
around.
I have it good. I realize, I live in the country.
Okay.
Even though I'm born and bred city guy, in New
Right.
York, but I've lived in Sweden most of my adult life, and I live in the country now. And I got to tell you, the pandemic, even though it slowed things up,
Hmm.
it gave me a chance to rest up and
Right.
realize that I really don't want to spend the next 20 years on the road
Yep.
in the way that I have been on the road.
Right.
I want to gig. I want to do selective gigs. I want to record like mad. I want to tick off my bucket list.
Hmm.
I'd like to do some teaching. I'll play and I'll get around, but not like I used to, because
Yeah.
you know, if you can still do it, you want to keep doing it. So, why, like, you know, run it in the ground when you can keep rolling?
Oh man, touring is tough,
I'm telling you,
especially when you get older.
Yes, exactly, exactly. I mean, that's the truth. That's just the truth. And it's a young person's game.
Yep.
And I understand the ambition and the eagerness that happens, in young performers and bands. They get a chance to travel and get on the road, man. They do it for free. I did, so, but sooner or later it's like, hey, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. Well, I'm going to talk about the new album and some of the tracks on there, which I love. You've got some covers on there, which are incredible. What you've done with those covers is fantastic. Album starts out with "Going Down the Road Feeling Bad." I love the lyrics in that. Nice slide guitar, feed me on cornbread and peas. I love those, those
Yeah,
kind of lyrics.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's great.
It's an old song, that was
Mhm.
been around. I used to introduce it as a song that would fly back and cross the tracks, because this was a song you could hear in African American communities.
Mhm.
This was a song you could hear in a paler community, in Appalachia somewhere.
Right.
All those great songs, they didn't have passports. They just traveled where they felt like they belonged.
Yep.
And musicians, if anybody was mixing it up, it was musicians to a degree, even though there was all this Jim Crow baloney. People were getting together through music in ways that tells you everything. So that's one of those songs that I learned from the great late John Cephas.
Mm.
Yeah,
Music will make peace in the world and save us all, and it
that's
will.
that's true.
It
Yeah,
saved me.
hold that. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I've seen it. It's really working. It might be
Mhm.
a slow train, but it's chugging along.
It is.
Mm,
Yeah. We share that common ground all over the world.
mm.
You know. Silver Spoon, which is very bluesy track, great lyrics. That's from Blues People, right? From that album.
Yeah, that's the first time I released that song. It's kind of
Hmm.
autobiographical,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just wanted to let people know in a song some of the kind of big moments in my journey. Deciding to live outside of the USA, travel around the
Hmm.
world, all of that, how it came to be, how it's been. Um, it's nice to share that story.
Sure.
Yeah.
Along the way from Dear America. Oh my goodness. Take the time to stop a while and take a rest. All you can ever do is your best. Take some time, quiet time away from the fray. Take the time to take a look and what you've learned along the way. I mean, it's incredible. That's exactly what you're saying by living in Sweden and doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you. I wrote that song for my own children, and I
Oh,
dedicated it. Yeah. I wanted to say things that I thought I had missed maybe saying earlier on in their journeys, and
that's
I just
nice.
wanted to, yeah. And I think these days feel like dedicating that song to just all the young people and the children in the world
Hmm.
today who are facing incredible challenges.
Yes, they are.
Oh, Jesus. So, that's my prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till artificial intelligence comes
Yeah.
in
Oh,
full bloom.
oh, brother.
Oh, man,
Head to the hills, bro. I'm telling
exactly.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm going to unplug everything.
Yeah, exactly. Just unplug everything.
You know. Yeah.
That song reminded me of a song I had Tom Paxton and John McCutcheon on recently,
Tom and who? And
and
John?
John McCutcheon,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
and
Great.
they wrote a song called "Invisible Man," which it reminded me of that song because it's a song about people either you pay. You don't pay attention to them. You don't say hi. It could be the homeless guy on the street.
Right, right,
Could be the mailman.
right,
Stop and say hello.
right.
Get to know this person. That kind of thing.
What they call it, the Invisible Man?
The Invisible Man. It's on their last album together.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
and
amazing
yep,
that Tom is still active. It's wonderful.
it is, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, He looks
You
good
know,
too. He looks
yeah,
great.
well, I knew
Hmm.
Tom and his music way back in the day. He's like, how I grew up,
Yep.
So I'm just so happy to see that he's still playing and singing.
Yeah, I love these folk guys. I've had Tom Rush on many
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
You know,
Tom.
I keep telling everybody, I says there's nothing like a solo guitar player with the acoustic guitar on stage with a story and a
There you
song,
go.
you know. That's
There you
it.
go.
That's all you need. You don't need all this big band stuff, you know.
Fireworks, baby. Smoke bombs. Yeah, no, I hear you. This is how I grew up. These were my iconic heroes and
Yep.
sheroes. Uh, they were the people who I just was mesmerized by.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I just thought that was a kind of complete existential statement to
Hmm.
stand up with a stringed instrument and tell the story all on your own, and
Love it.
that's what you need. I thought, wow, I'm going there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, in elementary school back in the day, we sang folk songs
Mm,
in
exactly.
class. I mean, that
Yeah.
was, you know, one of the things we did every day, you know, and of
Sure,
course
this land is
that's
your land.
yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I know, I
Yeah.
know, I know.
You know.
And I'm sure you're seeing over there a real revisionism going on,
Hmm.
and you're going to see those songs disappear from the
I know.
school books. This is why we have to keep singing. So,
Yeah, taking art out of school. I mean, that was my favorite thing. I learned so much from art class, you know.
I don't know what people are thinking. It just seems so cynical.
It is.
And maybe there are people who are in power who are not sending their children to public schools and they're getting some kind of other education. But what's happening, widespread is a dangerous development, man.
It is. It is a dangerous
It
development.
reminds you of some other stuff that happened, not that
Yeah,
many years ago.
I agree. I agree. It's a dangerous world,
Yeah,
you know.
that's
And
absolutely.
politics always gets in the way.
Yeah, it's funny how it really comes down to. I think greed is a big factor.
It's all greed.
I
I
think
agree.
there's greed that
Yep.
is at the bottom of many of our problems, and it's like, hey man, take a deep breath and realize that's the greatest gift.
Hmm.
All that money and the way you get it.
That's right.
Hey, come on, man.
You can't take it with you, man.
Yeah, and you got to pay a price for the way you got it too,
That's
one way or
right.
another. One way or another. This is the basic thing that people, I feel, need to just talk more about. What about teaching children
Hmm.
about the law of karma?
Right.
Listen, man, the way you do it to others is the way they're going to
That's
do it
right.
to you. So come on, how basic is that? And how essential is that for people to, from the very beginning, understand?
Hmm.
Without that, it's like the Wild West.
Yeah.
Mm,
You know, Florida, we've got it's legal to carry a gun down over here
yeah,
now
I
without
know.
a
I know.
permit,
I
which
know.
I didn't
Yeah,
agree
it's
with.
madness. It's madness. As we saw, at that Super Bowl incident, that was
Yeah.
just yet another wake up call. You know,
How about
yet.
the schools? I mean, a maniac just starts shooting, you know, and
I don't know about how
now it's
much.
like it's common, you know. It's like, okay, next, we forgot about it. Oh, it happened
Yeah,
again. We forgot about it. Oh, you know,
yeah. No,
very
it's an
scary.
incredibly tragic development when kids have to practice how to get underneath their desk because there's a shooter in the building.
Right.
Well, come
Yeah. Mm.
on, that's
All right. Well,
crazy.
back. Bring
Yeah,
me a
back.
little water,
Mhm.
Sylvie. That that's an oldie. An oldie, what a goodie. That's was a lead belly, right?
It is. It certainly
Yeah.
is. You know, like a lot of people, I grew up with Lead Belly,
Yep.
and those songs that people refer to as iconic folk songs, many of them emanated from that one troubadour, man.
Hmm.
Um, um, an amazing person, amazing life, um, and like I said, his music will ring on and on. He was just one of those giants who are here to plant a huge seed, and man, that just that's
Yeah.
great. That's
Yeah. Him
special.
and Elmore James were one of my
Yeah,
heroes.
seminal. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Mr. Elmore
Oh, I
because
loved him.
his thing probably had a lot to do with really kickstarting the whole rock and roll thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Starting with those Brits, Mahal and Clapton and the Yardbird guys and all
Yeah.
those people who were listening to that stuff. Brian, from the Stones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Zeppelin stole all this.
Yeah, and they had to pay up sooner or later. It caught up with them. I think some money got distributed. Hopefully,
Oh
I don't
God.
know about poor Arthur Crudup. I don't think he
Yeah,
ever got his money.
that's a shame. They
Yeah,
should have been ashamed of themselves for doing that,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, next time. Yeah.
I like. I read that Leadbelly would often tell his audience that the song was about his uncle Bob, who worked out in the field, plowing the soil, and when he got thirsty, he would call for his wife, Sylvie, to bring him some water. That's what he said to his audience, I guess.
It could be true.
Yeah.
It could be true as anything. The point is that song either came from him
Mm-hmm.
or it was in his community.
Yep.
And he heard it. And if it wasn't for him, we'd never have heard it. We'd never.
That's right. It's written by Walter Vinson.
That song is more than
No, that's the next song.
Here we
Walter
are
Vinson.
singing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the things is about coming my way. That was Walter Vinson with Tampa
Yes,
Red. Yeah,
that's Walter Vinson, who basically adapted "Sitting on Top of the World."
right.
That's really what the song is, and I don't think he made any, bones about it. It was new lyrics to basically that template.
Mm-hmm.
But there are several on that model, and that's the way it works with the blues. People found a good melody, say, "Hey, man, this is before ASCAP and copyright, man.
That's right.
I'm gonna pick that apart, put
Yep.
some new lyrics to it. It's my song."
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah. Unfortunately, back in the day, they either sold the rights to their music, or they were given a Cadillac.
Yeah. At best.
Yeah, like Muddy Waters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's happened through the '60s and rock bands. Everybody got screwed.
It's still happening.
It's still happening. It's a shame, man. Yeah. Do you have a good manager? And
oh, I have a whole beautiful team that
good.
A dream team, and it's taken a while to get there, but I've got it, and I'm happy because I know what it's like to not be happy with the business side of the business. When you're out there, giving your blood, sweat, and tears. So any musician who has been able to find some kind of balance in this crazy world of music, I chapeau, I salute them. And wish them to share what they know with young people so that, it stays somewhat in balance.
Yeah, as an author, I notice what you guys are going through. I'm finding my book like on eBay, and it says it was signed by the author, and I didn't sign it. It's in Walmart. I didn't put it in Walmart.
Wow.
And people are making money off, and I'm not getting any royalties.
Right, I hear you. No, it's and then you have to have some kind of hacker expert or double educated lawyer to figure out how to get yours back.
Exactly.
It's yes, it's we can complain, but we also have to take responsibility for not letting the business side of the thing run away with us.
Right.
Because we are, as creative people, so passionate about what we do, we forget, hey man, you need to get paid.
Yeah, exactly. Be nice with it.
Yeah. A plumber gets paid, the baker gets paid, get paid, man.
Listen to this. I've done almost 600 interviews. I haven't made a nickel. It's all for the love of music.
I hear you.
I write books. Trying to make money that way.
Yeah,
but once in a while I'll get a check from YouTube. That's it.
I hear you. Oh, I don't know when that's going to be in balance, but you can't spend all your time fighting the system because you would never write a song, but you do have to stay awake and participate. It's a balance.
Well, you got a team. That's good.
Yeah, finally, it's nice. It's really nice, and I've needed it. But it just feels like you get the teacher when you're ready for the lesson,
Right.
You know, yeah.
A very heartfelt song was Rosewood. Oh my God, that was beautiful. And I have to admit, I did not know about this.
See, well,
I,
this is it. This
I'm
is it,
very good
man.
at history, but I've never
This is
known. And
it,
this happened in
man.
Florida, which
This is
is,
it. This
yeah,
is it. The story's out there more
horrible.
than ever. It's available on the internet, and still many people don't
They don't
know.
know about it.
The same is true about Tulsa Town.
Hmm.
So it's funny, the songs do play
They
not
do.
only a kind of just historical importance, but on a real practical level, they are sharing stories that, as I said, are being systematically deleted from the historical
That's
record.
horrible, isn't it?
That's the place where we're at. People are burning books.
God.
Let's not hide our head in the sand. That's actually happening in America.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Good or bad, we need to know. Because we make the
This
world a
is
better
it.
place if we know.
We have to face who we are and who
Yeah,
we've been. Otherwise, we'll never figure out how to, get it together.
that's right. I
We're
agree.
fighting an uphill battle. When you have hundreds of years of a mindset, not
Hmm.
only the physical systems, but the mindset, the
Right,
ideas that people carry around and transfer from generation to generation, that takes a real concerted, conscious effort
right,
to replace with some sanity.
right.
It's not going to happen all by itself. It's
Hmm.
going to be because we actively say, hey, we need to turn this crazy shit around.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there you go.
I agree, man. I read about that case, and apparently, that Fannie Taylor made up false accusations because she
Exactly.
wanted to conceal it from an
Yeah,
extramarital affair with a white man.
exactly. Yeah,
What a
yeah,
piece of crap.
yeah, yeah.
They should have hung her.
Well, drama is drama, but people create all kinds of stories that basically are an outgrowth of people's expectations. She knew she had an out. If she went that way, she would always get enough hysteria to basically divert attention from her situation. You understand? That would be successfully dramatic enough to turn the tide, the attention away from her and her bruises because she messed up with her little
Yeah,
side thing, and
yeah.
but man, karmically, what a price!
Oh,
Oh,
you kidding me? The kids
oh, brother,
killing children? It's horrible.
oh, brother. We have such things to learn, and we seem to need dramatic lessons,
Yep.
over and over and over. It's like, hey, this is not the first time, this has
It's
happened.
sad, isn't it, that it has to be a dramatic lesson,
Yeah,
you know, of
yeah. I
something really
once read
bad.
something somebody said, uh, the only way to learn is the hard way. And that may
Yeah,
be true,
I think it is.
Yeah.
My whole life has been the hard way. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Nothing's come easy for me, man.
Well, that's why the blues resonates with you.
Oh yeah, I
You
love
know.
the blues, man. Um, one song this song is incredible. Whole world's got the blues. I mean, you just hit, and that came out, I guess, was it 2021 when
Yeah,
that came out? I
I know.
mean, blues out in the border, blues in the Middle East, blues running through the alley, blues creeping up Wall Street.
Mm.
People, what's going on? How can we break this suffering spell? I pray we're going to make it, but only time will tell. Time will tell. Exactly what you're talking about in that song.
It's funny. You tapped into something, and I'll take it further. You didn't say it, but you're basically talking about what my friend Janice Ian said the other day
Hmm.
in a talk. She said, without knowing it, songwriters, songs can be prescient. They can kind of tell the future.
Right, they do.
And you don't know the process by which that happens because you're sometimes something of a channel when you write
Hmm.
songs. You get an idea and you say, where did that come from? And your muse is, with you. And I have a feeling that that's one of the ways that the universe lets us know where we're at and where we're going
Right,
through art and through songs, which tend to have the ability to tell the future.
they do.
Yeah.
They do. That's why this album's so important to me, because you got some important messages, through your lyrics. I love it. I love this album.
Oh, I'm so glad to
I
hear
really
that.
do.
I'm gratified to hear that so many people seem to be applauding not just the music, but the decision
Hmm.
to include certain kinds of stories told in a certain kind of way. And I emphasize that because at this point, there's enough side taking. And I
Hmm.
realize that it takes a conscious effort to use language and communicate in a way that doesn't make people immediately feel defensive because
Right.
we're all on the edge, man.
Right.
We're on the edge. Everybody. Don't care
Everybody's on
who
the
you are.
edge. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't care who you are, what side you're on.
They're so defensive nowadays. We
Yeah,
never used.
exactly.
I was never that way when I'm
No,
growing up.
this is, yeah. And this
Yeah.
is not helped by the fact that because of the way news can be manipulated, we're
Yep.
unsure what is really true.
I
This is
know.
the dilemma.
It's
This is the dilemma, bro.
it's gonna get
You know,
worse.
there was a time, I don't know whether we were naive or whatever, we listened to Walter Cronkite.
There you go. I was just gonna
Okay,
say that.
okay. This is really happening. This is sort of what's happening, at least,
Right.
part of the real story. But these days, man, I don't know.
Well, they didn't put their comments in there. They just told the news
Yeah,
right
yeah.
off the teletype machine. That's
Yes,
it.
yes.
Just tell it like it is. That's all. That's all we want.
Another era. Another
Yeah,
era.
exactly.
So we have to figure it out somehow.
That's
And
what I'm writing another book, and that's exactly what it's all about the
really,
press. Yeah, getting
okay,
out of
well,
hand.
there you go. I can understand why you would take up that subject because it's vital. It's central.
I've got a lot of videos on YouTube.
Mm,
You got to see the selection of people I've interviewed. It's incredible,
mm. Yeah,
and it's all real.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all Zoom. Nobody can question me. It's me
Right.
and the artist. But there are people that they're saying things like, "It's a shame this guy died today, a famous guy," and he didn't die. They just want to
Mm-hmm.
get views, that kind of thing. I hate
Goodness.
that. I hate that. It
Well,
had,
listen,
they had
talking
Michael
about
J. Fox. The list goes on. This guy died today. This guy, and they show,
we were talking about karma. You
yeah,
know, to put something like out there in the
it's
universe to
horrible.
float that one, man, brother, you are ignorant if that's what you're doing because
It's sick.
that's a consequence.
That's
And
right.
he or she is going to be dealing with that energy pullback
Mm-hmm.
in a major way. You can't do something
It's
that's a
sick, man.
real. Well, what it is it's the respect thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
really taking away somebody's integrity.
Yes.
Uh, that's a heavy, and to be able to do that because of this technology,
Right.
that means that the technology in the wrong hands is much too powerful.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Much too powerful. Mm.
Really worried about that.
Yeah. I hear you.
I got to ask you, are you an equestrian?
No,
Because you ride horses. I mean, you got a picture of you riding a horse,
it's
and
me up on the horse. I've ridden horses, but I'm not like an enthusiastic.
well, it looks like you are
No, I'm glad I got that impression across.
on
But
riding.
I fell off that horse. I fell off that horse because I tried to stupidly do kind of a Roy Rogers
Oh, did
thing.
you?
I tried to put my guitar on my back while I was
Right.
up on the horse, and the horse freaked out.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I survived. So did the horse. So, but that was a lesson. I was trying
You
to
look
get
good on a horse.
trying to get fast. I was happy with that photo. I said the picture is worth the fall.
Mhm.
You know. Yeah, it was a
I
good
thought it was
picture.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it got people's attention too,
Yeah.
which is half the idea.
Um,
Yeah.
you end the album with "Mole in the Ground," which was an oldie but a goodie again. 1928, I think that first came out.
Hmm.
Oldest standard American folk song. Wow.
I don't know the history of that. I just know it's been around a long time.
Yeah.
As I said, with a song like "Going Down the Road Feeling Bad," those kind of songs. they were flying around from different communities, and it's funny how you can swap stanzas, lyrics, and find all kinds of different versions, make up your own. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
How cool was it to be brought up in a kind of a musical family the way you did? Your dad did musical theater. He was a singer, and part of the folk scene, I guess. And your uncle was a jazz pianist and a composer. Wow.
Yeah, John Lewis, my mother's brother, of the Modern Jazz Quartet, was an amazing musician and composer, who was just a kind of beacon for me. Somebody close to me in my family was a world famous musician who traveled the globe and sent me little toy kangaroos from Australia. And I heard his music in several places and concert halls around the world, and realized, what a gift to also have the bug to want to make music and to have a role model as close as that.
Right.
Somebody who I could observe as he comported himself through the world, playing his own music, So without that being like hammered into me in any way, just through osmosis, man, it was a wonderful, 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 wonderful blessing to have him and my dad even closer, who was performing and traveling and rehearsing at home. All of that brought the music so close to me,
You got your first steel string acoustic guitar at 7, and you actually talked to Bob Dylan when you were somewhere around 11 years old, and he told you to keep it simple and forget all that fancy stuff. Is that right?
He did. As I've said so many times, my dad had a party. He and my mom threw this big show business bash out at our big house in Queens. And some people showed up who were well known, some people who were not well known. I think 2/3 of Peter, Paul, and Mary showed up that night.
Wow.
Dylan was invited. By very late, he still hadn't showed. I went up to bed. And then he finally did show up. And I came back downstairs in my pajamas in my robe. And I went right up to him and I said, "Hey, I'm Eric. I play guitar too." And we talked. And he said, keep it simple. Forget all the fancy stuff. That I do remember. And I've never had a conversation with him since. I hope he knows how thankful I am for that little conversation.
Yeah.
Not only have I gotten a lot of press mileage out of it, it's something that's inspired me to have been so close to such a major figure of the music that was really impacting me. What a blessing. Those people were around. Odetta was around my house. Judy Collins, Bill Lee, all these people. Oh man, and the list just goes on. I saw Joni Mitchell up close.
Wow.
Like when I was, 18, 17 years old at the bitter end, 6 feet away on her own, Yeah.
She had a tough life. I watched the bio the other day of her.
Yeah, a lot of great musicians had tough lives. Sort of, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
It does. Exactly right. I wanted to mention you did a taped performance for Sirius Radio. Is that coming out, or did that already air?
Oh, it hasn't aired yet. I think it's airing, somehow. I hope within the month of March, if not before. But it was a wonderful session. We had a chance to finish with a song that I sing together with my wife, Ulrika Bibb. We had a chance to invite Eileen Ivers, a wonderful fiddler, Irish tradition, a musician who we met in Dublin who lives in New York. And she joined us on the tune, the last song that we did for that Sirius XM session. And that was really a gas.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that should be soon.
Yeah. In college, this is interesting. I thought people should know. You studied psychology and Russian?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I needed to choose some, some courses. Psychology seemed interesting.
Hmm.
The Russian, I had been to the Soviet Union with my family
Hmm.
years before.
Right.
I had actually celebrated my 13th birthday in Kiev. So what happened was my dad, being the well-known folk singer,
Right.
was heard by a minister of culture from the Soviet Union back in the mid 60s. And
Hmm.
that woman went to his manager and said, I want that man to tour the Soviet Union. And my dad's manager said, well, not that easy. The man has a family. And this woman said, the whole family is invited. So me, my twin sister, my younger sister, my mother, and my father took off for Europe. We sailed across the Atlantic on the SS Rotterdam.
Huh.
We spent 1 month tooling around Europe. The month of August, my dad had 30 concerts in the Soviet Union. This is
Wow.
1964. Kiev, Yalta, Moscow, all around. On the way back to New York, after those 30 days, we stopped in Sweden, and that was my first visit to Sweden as a 13-year-old. So
Right.
who could have known that, 7 years later, I'd be back in Sweden on my own with my guitar and
Mm.
starting a life of my own.
Did,
So
did
yeah,
you live in did you live in Norway also at one time?
no, I've traveled in Norway. I've
Uh-huh.
never spent time living there. I've lived in Finland. I've lived in England.
Okay.
I've lived in France. But mostly, I've spent most of my adult life in Sweden.
Mm.
Even having returned to the States and lived, back on the East Coast for about 5 years,
Yeah.
sometime in the 80s, I just felt like, no, I need to move back to Scandinavia. And
Can
I
you
did.
can you speak the language?
Ja, visst, ja, det gör jag.
Oh
I
wow.
do. I dream in Swedish sometimes, and that was when that first started happening. I thought, oh my goodness, what's going on here?
Oh no.
But it's a beautiful thing to realize, we have this strong cultural tribal identification going on,
Yeah.
but it's nice to shake that up a bit.
Looks like a great country. I mean,
In many ways, it is, Ray.
yeah,
In many
yeah.
ways, but I must tell you, I must be truthful.
Hmm.
It's not the Sweden that I remember when I came here at first,
Hmm.
when there were less political issues driving people onto two sides,
Right.
less problems with everything from immigration to the economy. So there is afoot some difficult issues, that are dividing people, where you have some xenophobic folks who are very against the fact that it's only natural for people to seek a safe haven when they're under threat. Doesn't matter
Hmm.
whether you're from the Middle East or whether you're from
Right.
Sweden. 1/4 of the Swedish population emigrated to the United States because of famine or religious persecution. Come on, man. We
Yeah.
all have these stories.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have to be understanding and compassionate. But it's still a beautiful place, physically very, very wonderful nature uh, that is not, adulterated by humans. Uh, so I'm enjoying it here, and it's given me a chance to have a perspective on the world and on America in particular that is, I think, valuable for me certainly, and maybe for me to share.
Hmm. Well, my one woman that I've always had a crush on from Sweden was Anne Margaret.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of crushable sweets. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I wanted to see Anne Margaret. When I was, my dad's always had stores in DC since
Mhm.
late 50s, retail
Okay.
electronics.
Okay. Great.
And we went to see, there was a big 4th of July thing with Bob Hope, Billy Graham, Anne
Mhm.
Margaret, and a lot of stars. So I said, Dad, let's go check it out. So it was at the monument, you know. So we're there waiting for the show to start. I wanted to go see Anne Margaret. I didn't care about it, Bob Hope or anybody
Uh,
else.
how old were you?
Probably 13, I guess about
Mhm.
13 years old.
Mhm.
I used to work at the store since I was a kid. I wrote a book about it.
Oh, great.
um, so it didn't start yet, and all of a sudden, people started running. And what had happened? Remember the yippies? Not the hippies, the yippies.
Yeah.
They started trouble and
Abby.
throwing rocks at cops. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cops tear gassed them, and the
Okay.
tear gas came our way.
Right.
Thousands of people were running, getting away from the tear gas,
Wow.
kids. So I never saw the show because our eyes were killing us,
Oh my.
So me and my dad both got tear gas that day.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. That's a story.
I know. It's
Wow.
crazy. DC, you see everything.
Yeah.
I saw the inaugurations, the
Right. Right.
we had the riots in '68.
Hey man, you had
Yeah.
January 6th.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We saw the demonstrators for Vietnam.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
saw Nazis marching. Nazis marching with German
Oh,
uniforms marching down the street,
Oh,
if you get a permit, you can march in DC.
um,
It's crazy. But, I guess that's freedom. I don't know.
time will
Oh,
tell.
man. Okay, here's the final question for you today. I ask everybody this question. I get some very interesting answers. If you had a Field of Dreams wish like the movie to perform with, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Oh, there's some people that come to mind. I had a chance to already collaborate with some of my greatest heroes. I'm thinking of
True.
Mavis Staples. I'd love to do something with Mavis again.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
From the other past, because I love him so much, Mr. Armstrong, Louis Armstrong.
Wasn't he great?
You got to love Louis Armstrong.
What a positive attitude he had,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So he's somebody I think about. Um, man, the list is crazy. Don't get me started.
How about Jimmy?
I
I got Jimmy right here.
I saw Hendrix live twice in my life.
Did you really? I'm jealous. I'm jealous, man.
One at Hunter College, I think it was 1968.
Mm-hmm.
The Trogs were the opening act.
Yep, I saw the Trogs. Yeah.
Jimmy was there, loud in the auditorium at Hunter College. The next time I saw him was at the Fillmore East on that. I guess it was New Year's Eve when he did the thing with the band of Gypsies.
Oh yeah.
That show. So Hendrix, oh my God. And I was in London when he died. But anyway, I would love to have made some music with Jimi Hendrix. That would be just unreal. But there are so many people. I mean, all across the musical spectrum, wonderful people and players.
Yeah. You got your personality is a little bit like Jimmy.
Yeah, I hear. Yeah, I know what you mean. One of the things that's fascinated me, I would love to, if I had the time, really study stride piano.
Mm-hmm.
Like the old guys, like Pete Johnson, that whole style.
You can do it.
Fascinating to me.
You got time.
Yeah. You never know.
You never know.
Piano. It could save the world.
Yeah, I'd like to play piano. I play some guitar, but I would love to play piano. Just get in the piano, just start playing anything,
Yeah, I'd love to have a good teacher who could focus on stuff that I would really love to learn.
Right, exactly. I just have to ask, Wikipedia mentioned that in, Wikipedia, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. They said you were going to tour Australia and New Zealand in June, May and June. Is that true?
It's before that. It's the tour is going to be in May. Yeah, May.
Okay, good.
Yeah, most of May until the beginning of June. New Zealand and Australia. Yeah, again.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been out there and it's wonderful.
I want to see you in the States. And will it happen?
Together. We're looking at some dates in the summer. I might get up to Canada. October might be a period when we're in the States.
Okay. Awesome. Looking forward to that. After this live album, are you working on more material or?
We already have another album in
the
can.
You guys.
Quiet as it's kept. Quiet as it's kept. The beat goes on. The beat goes on.
Incredible.
But I'm really so happy that you are.
I love it, man.
Live at Scala, yeah.
And I want to mention, you can pre-order the album now. It's the official date's April 5th, but you can go. I guess it's stonyplainrecords.com. Is that a good place to start?
Yeah, you can go there. Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll be on Amazon.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And also Ryden. I want people to go buy Ryden as well. That one Grammy, it was nominated for a Grammy as well.
Yes,
so,
yes.
But you are going to win a Grammy for this live album, I predict.
All right. I love it. I love it. Taking bets out here.
Yeah, man. I want to say very special thanks to Mark Pucci Media for arranging this interview today with Eric. Eric's available on social media, www.ericbibb.com. You're on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. You're everywhere.
Yeah.
Eric, thank you, man. It's been wonderful talking to you.
The same.
You're a beautiful person.
Thank you for all of your encouragement. And we'll talk further up the road.
That'll be great.
All right,
My best to you and the family, okay?
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.